Touching palms first. A fool is there is no one, okay? Basta mayroon ano. Guys, what the fuck is this? So no. Brothers, in the life, hot choice is first. You need to drink a lot of water. Hot choice is first. Always drink hot choice is first. A lot of water. So you need to drink a lot of water. And you need to drink a lot of water. You need to drink a lot of water. And you need to drink a lot of water. So fasting is firstly always to be good and emphasize things to other things. Okay? So that's what we do the first time that feel what is the true choice in life. Success or failures. Allow it to choose all the success. Because this is the way to live life. This is the way to live life. Allow it to live life. If you stay in this anymore, how it works, what it's achieving, other stuff going on. Chapter 4, the figures based on the contrast or the indifference. I complete this, okay? The first group details with the contrast or the contradictions in the words or ideas, while the second group with the arrangements of the word or ideas by the means of examinations or contrast antithesis. The contrasted words or ideas are placed together in a balance form for the sake of emphasizing opposites. Opposite has already said that it often makes a view of the activity. A black person looks bright in a white race in a composition to the contrasted words or ideas. When they are the place together brightens the whole impressions as a matter of fact. The words or thoughts are found often set together in the contrast for the sake of emphasizing a preposition fact or imagery. This use of the contrasted words or ideas placed together is a common practice and goes to the constitutive figure known as the antithesis. The antithesis is a figure consists in placing together contrasted words or idea in a balanced form of the sake of the emphasis. According to the Nashville, this figure consists in explosive statements of an opposed contrast. Some of examples of the figure are given below. The identity with a day was gone, the night came on, Barhan. The old contemporary say young act. If give every man to his years, but few the wise Shakespeare takes each man's ensure by reserve that judgment. Shakespeare in the first case who just idea that you cannot go anywhere, something that's different country, and no one can know you, no one can marry with you. That's I don't care anyone. Just fuck it. That's it. That's okay, man. Keep this. The opposite things over that already be asserted then to make a view attractive. A black person looks bright in a white dress in comparison to the contrasted words or ideas when they are placed together. Brighten the whole impression same as a matter of fact. Words or thoughts are found often set together in contrast for the sake of emphasizing a preposition, fact or imagery. This use of the contrasted words or idea placed together is a common practice and goes to constitute a figure known as antithesis. The antithesis as a figure consists in a placing together contrasted word of the ideas in a balance from the sake of emphasis. According to the Nashville, the figure of consists in explicit statements of an implicit contrast. Some example of this figure are given below. United we stand, divided we fall, who do much we take it much aback. I saved him, she killed him. It is a blessing and not a curse. The day was gone, the night came on, the all completed. The all complete, the contempt, the young act, giving every man things are thin here, but few are the boys Shakespeare. Take each man's censure and but reserve the judgment Shakespeare. In the first case, two contrasted idea united, united will stand and the divided will fall and placed together in a balanced form. The purpose was to emphasize the state of the unity. In the next three cases, contrasted words are taken and evidence the saved and killed and blessing and curse are the placed together in a balanced form. In each case, and emphasizes the eulogy some concept on the some conceptual thoughts. In the last four cases, the contrasted or ideas are again placed together in a balanced form. The contrasted ideas in these cases are the day was gone and night came on, the old contemplate and the young act, give every man thing they are, and give you the voice and take each man's ensure and reserve each of all these cases. The purpose is to emphasize the ideal contains four ideas are placed in a balanced form. The purpose is idea of the country and these two ideas man proper man proposes and that God disposes are placed together. They are contrasted ideas. They are also placed in a balanced form. These antithetical arrangement seems to emphasize the difference between the power of the God and that of man. Model is made weak by the time and fate, but strong in wool. So this is the antithesis. In antithesis, two contrasted words or ideas are placed together in a balanced form of the sake of the emphasis. They are two contrasted words, weak or strong, are placed together in a balanced form, and the purpose is to emphasize the interpretation of Shakespeare's strength of the will not be a God. Man is a hero of truth or a lover of fiction. This is antithesis. In a antithesis, two contrasted words or ideas are placed together in a balanced form for the sake of emphasis. They are a haters of truth and the lover of fiction, and is dislike for fact. Some more examples. Many nails and serve in the expiring was for the contrast. Consider contrasted ideas, command, serve and poem are the placed together in a balanced form of emphasis. To do a great right, to do a little wrong. Shakespeare contrasted ideas, the great right and the little wrong are placed in a balanced form of emphasis. Mary has many pains, but celibacy has no place. Contrasted ideas, Mary has many pains and celibacy has no place, are set against each other in a balanced form for the sake of emphasis. Youth is full of the pleasure, age is full of the care. Contrasted idea, youth, leisure and age, care are placed together in a balanced form of emphasis. R is long, I is short, and contrasted words long and short are placed together in a balanced form of emphasis. Not that I love the scissor base that, but the what that I love grow more. Contrasted word days and more are placed together in a balanced form of the emphasis. The speaker's love of Rome, nor the Narcissus, all Spain. The contrasted ideas, not hearts on all Spain are placed together in a balanced form of the emphasis. The speaker says of the descriptions, the hierarchies, the human to forgive. Placed together in a balanced form, serve and serve to emphasis by force to repage or by the short battery. Contrasted word, the force and for are placed in a balanced form of way to emphasize. But there is underlying the significance of drama of the epigrams is originally used by the Greeks in the sense of inscriptions. Afterwards, it was given as a little titles or to any short poem expressing the precisely and pointedly a single thought in modern times. Though the name is still used to the short pointed poems, the common practice is to mean by epigrams and the Eugenius. Eugenius to workshop the saying in the posts or bars. And in just also readers is drawn to something different or inner by the means of apparent contradictions in the language used. The figurative expression which is rouses one attention to some inner meaning is known as an epigram. Epigram is a main defense is in a is and apparent contradictions in the language which is might causing a temporary shock rouses our attention to the some importance meaning underneath. Thus the Baroque celebrated the expressions or antagonists or is our helper. There is a contradiction in the apparent meaning of the language for how the antagonist can to the role of the antagonist in the leader of the army. A man against danger, and hence the expression is the epigrammatic. Similarly, the following expressions are epigrammatic failures are the pillars of success. We have he is all false, who holds or not false at all. There is a pleasure in the poetic phase and so obliging that he never obliges. The king is dead, long live the king. What's everybody? A business is nobody's. The enjoy freedom, there is must and the most restraint. If you have nothing to say it. The busiest man has the campus treasure. Okay, because Chinese from short. The careful scrutiny of starting to reveal that through that apparently the contradictory statements one's attention is down to the some hidden significance. That's the very first example bears out the glaring contradictions in its apparent meaning. After all, the failure cannot be the features of success, but this talking statement tries to sense deep enough. This is about the inspiring of success that comes out of failure in life. The epigrammatic expression in each of the other cases may be similarly brought out in epigram. In fact, it's a chart PT saying it depends on the for the effect on the brevity of the statement, the sharpness of the stock cost, and the inner sense of evoked thereby. Epigram is this is a belief and apparently the contradictory statement, which is one of the phrase for it. On the page for each sounds absorbed and shocking, but when it is post examined, it gives rise to an important meaning underneath. It's essential feature for our forward. There is a belief terms of statements. This is a contradictions in a apparent meaning of the statement. There is a shocking sensations. There is an inner meaning. The model is the child is the father of man. This is an epigram. In an epigram, there is a shocking contradictions in the apparent meaning of the language used, but there is an inner significance. There the language is contradictory except for how a child can be followed from a man. Here there is an inner meaning which is aroused by the thought caused by the contradiction. The inner meaning suggested that the child of the today would be the creator of the future man or the maker of the future generations. No man teaches all who wants to teach. This is an epigram. In an epigram, there is a contradiction in the apparent meaning of the languages, but there is the inner meaning. Here, there is a contradiction that exists in the apparent meaning of the expressions, or how there's a man who wants to reach. He cannot teach well. This is talking expression of the contents. Failure. The failure of those who pride on the ability of the teaching. The some more example. There are the charming agonies of love, whose misery delights. Paper has no any contradiction is found in the apparent meanings which is solves one, but there is a great truth that unapparent. The apparent meaning of the expression sound rather observed part there is the inner meaning of that's the most the draws one attention of some the meaning of the underneath suggested the man who has no foe has really no true friends or willing no owns yet a friend to strike a contradiction is found in the apparent meaning of expression which is whatever the indicates no doubt strictly and centrally concerned the dangerous to be the really free one must restrain one's freedom the found in language, but there is inner meaning suggesting that the restraint in the essential to liberty, which was given to the man to conceive his thoughts of Voltaire. For that, there is a contradiction in the apparent sense of the language for how speech seems to conceal thoughts. This was a shocking effect to strike inner thoughts of man's often conceives in the real thoughts of minds of these words. Silence is sometimes the more equivalent eloquence and words. There is a shocking contradiction in the apparent meaning of the expression which seems to strike an inner thoughts about the effectiveness of silence. Oh, that thought which is dense, well exclusive. Okay, Browning the shocking contradictions in the apparent meaning of carries in the inner sense that what sentence also suits. Okay. Words are just suppose for a child effect oxygen generally described as extreme when Friends is correct to the extreme points that two contradictory words are just proposed are placed side by side. The figure is called oxymoron, like the figure. The figure involves the contradictions that makes the apparent meanings absurd, yet contains a subtle sense. Of course, the contradictions of in the oxymoron in its term of the word side is more of the exceptional. The oxymoron is thus a fundamental difference from the epigram. Thus, the sentence in this light verb active elements there is the contradictions of apparent meanings. And this contradiction is caused by the placing side by side the two contradictory who was active and idleness brothers. I believe that some great characters and the most positive characters in life, just two brothers. Most positive and will be success in everything, brothers. It is caused by placing side by side two contradictory was active and idleness. There is a sentence of become an instance of the oxymoron. Similarly, the expressions carefully careless contains the juxtapositions of the two contradictory words. Carefully and the careless. This is also a case of the oxymoron. In either case, the inner sense of it is not the prominent that and what is striking is the juxtapositions of the contradictory words. The oxymoron does consist in the juxtapositions of the two contradictory words in order of the achieve the impressiveness or some significant sense. A few examples of this figure are given below. You must listen. So this is nothing but impressions. This is the effect of the senseless sense. You have a plentiful lack of the money. Life is bittersweet in each of the above cases. Cases to connect to words, often and the slowly impressions see the liberty senseless and the sense of painfully and the lack of the bitterness with the are just supposed to have the effect of the impressiveness in the language in statements made. The essential elements of the oxymoron are the following. The two connected words are just supposed. A sense of combines or the impressions effective deftly through the apparent contradictions in the term used. What is the Maldas idly busy roles there? What's the way out? What's with this is an oxymoron? This is the oxymoron. Two contradictory words are just supposed to achieve the impressiveness. Here idly and the busy two contradictory words are just supposed an effect of impressiveness is there to achieve. Embedding all these achieving joys are now no more the sword. So this is an oxymoron of the figure consists in the juxtapositions of the contradictory terms of the having a striking effect that the achieving the joys two contradictory terms are juxtaposed. It strikes the subtly or nature of the joy. Some example, the blissful blockheads ignorantly the read the pope. Contradictory words of the blissful and the blockheads and ignorantly and the read the juxtaposed. She accepted it's the kind of the quality of the doctor, kind of probability according to what just this is thing and just being we accepted kind of connect to words just opposite facing and just before the resigned of grey. Two connect to words facing and unjust are just opposed. And faith and faithful keeps in the falsely true. The tendency on the contradictory words faith and unfaithful and the falsely the true and just opposed to that good mischief. Two contradictory words good and the mischief are just opposed. The poor impurity and the emperor's purity. Contradictory terms of poor and impurity and the imposed and the purity and the supposed or strike impressiveness. The oxymoron is found quite popular, also familiar type of the parachons concerns and Elizabethan law, love qualities and the pleasant things, loving height, loving emphasize two contrasted words or ideas are placed together in a balanced form in the epigram. There are contradictions in the apparent sense of the language use of the causing a sharp shock in the oxymoron, which is the extreme form of the epigram to contradictory words or term are just opposed. Again, in the emphasis, the purpose of the speaker. Although to emphasize the whole idea of thoughts in the epigram, on the other hand, there is the meaning of the underneath who the oxymoron and idea or sense is suggested vividly by means of the juxtapositions of the contradictory words. This tables below the sums of the difference, and this is the epigram oxymoron. There are the two contrasted words or ideas. There is the contradictions in the apparent meanings of a sentence. The the words or just a force of phrase like I said. This purpose is to the emphasize paradox. Paradox is sometimes taken in a separate period, but there is hardly any distinctions of between an epigrams and paradox. So the brain and reference the paradox as the epigram, where there is opinions to the loop upon it as an extreme form of the epigram. The paradox is a sewage statements load of shorts and stars that seems on the surface to be the shorts are contradictory, but is more or more maybe true that in the language of Mardik, paradox is a apparent contradictions and a first reading may seem absurd and impossible, but in form, in a careful examination in exams, citing to the expressions more else, less speed or paradoxical for the friendly looks absurd and impossible, but this is a carefully examined and advised to work with a greater house, but lesser speed comes out and this is a minimum. And that's not good. It's okay. It's bold. Receipts are expensive times to trade the column to revenue show. Now, in one of the notices, guys, the presence of wisdom. For example, one is more contains 2,000 strokes and I wanted to help because now is a good not not playing. Only changes every times. Sides, guys. I built something called 161.2. I made 166 and another one, but it's the business. I believe that's next year. I don't know because anyway. alta data, so over 6. Changes our number ones. With that, some applause. With that, all our Belly dance. I can do it.